Mick Conlan with the comeback victory, and it was a good victory and a really good performance from Mick Conlan. And people need to keep this in proper perspective. This is a guy who the last time we saw Mick Conlan fight, Mick Conlan was being taken out on a stretcher. He was being taken out on a stretcher. And he comes back 6 months later and exercises the demons against the Colombian puncher with 26 knockouts in 30 fights. 6 months later, in an era where guys are fighting once a year, in an era when guys, when they have a tough loss like this in a fight of the year, tough fight, knocked out in the 12th round, taken out on a stretcher, to come back 6 months later. I mean, guys take losses now and you don't see them for another year. Guys win and you may not see them till the next year. So for Mick Conlan to come back 6 months later and exercise the demons against a puncher, and I understand, I get it. Marriaga is 35 years old, well past his prime, can't set up his punches anymore. Reflexes aren't there how they used to be. Every time he stepped up, he's lost. I get all that. I get it. But he is the type of fighter who, if he lands a flush shot, everything goes sideways. He possesses an equalizer. So for them to put Conlan in there against the guy who possesses an equalizer after being taken out on a stretcher in his last fight, they have confidence in his ability. They have a confidence in his attrition. They have confidence in his chin. And these are all good signs for Conlan going forward in his career. So really good performance for Conlan. He dictated the pace of the fight. He dictated the real estate, where the fight was fought, how it was fought, used the jab, worked off the jab, constant feigning. His athleticism was what gave Marriaga issues. And this wasn't a surprise, right? We expected this coming in, that we said Conlan is going to be a guy who is going to outbox Marriaga. The question is, can he go 10 rounds without being caught with a flush shot against Marriaga and have flashbacks of the Lee Wood fight? That was the big question coming in, because we took the Marriaga by decision off the table. We took Conlan by knockout off the table. And that's the type of fight we had. We had Conlan outboxing Marriaga, and we're going to see if Marriaga can land a big shot to turn the fight sideways. And Marriaga landed some shots, although few and far between, because he couldn't set up due to Conlan's athleticism, due to his boxing ability, constant feigning, constantly giving Marriaga different looks. And Conlan looked good coming into this fight as far as his body type, his frame. This fight was at 128, so that gave him some extra room to work with, but he looked strong, looked like a guy who was fresh, looked like a guy in the right headspace. So everything points towards Conlan getting right back on track. And you start to ask yourself the question, because Conlan wants to step right back up. With the Lee Wood versus Leo Santa Cruz fight not happening due to the 75-25 ridiculous split by the WBA in that fight, do we get Conlan versus Wood early 2023? Whether Lee Wood fights his next fight against Mauricio Lara in September or not, do we get Conlan versus Wood 2 or Wood versus Conlan 2 in early 2023? Because I'm sure the boxing public would love to see that rematch of that fight of the year candidate. And I'm sure Mick Conlan wants to avenge that loss. But what tonight taught me with Conlan is, I think Lee Wood is just undervalued as a fighter. Lee Wood knocked out Zucan, upset victory, beat Conlan, knocked him out in upset victory. I think Lee Wood is undervalued because Mick Conlan looked pretty good tonight. Pretty good. So will he beat a top 10 126-pounder in the near future? That's yet to be seen. Will he be able to climb back into the rankings, get into the top 10? I don't know. I'm not sure his ceiling is that high, but we'll see. But tonight's victory points us right back in the direction of Conlan being able to get back into that picture. And this was a good, this is, if you're the manager of Mick Conlan, this is as good as it gets as far as a comeback victory. 6 months later, against the puncher, exercising the demons, and you're right back on track. So good for Mick Conlan. Defeats Marriaga easily. I had him winning every round. Peace. God bless.